Right, so Arsenal into the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League for the very first time since 2009 and the third time in the club history. And so, of course, the likes of Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice are making history with the Gunners. For Declan Rice, a five-star performance in both legs, winning back-to-back man of the match as far as the games were concerned in the two-legged affairs against Real Madrid. Here with me is a Ghana, a true and true Ghana. So Kobe Jones has joined me in the studios this morning. Kobe, good morning. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, good morning, man.
Certainly sure you are extremely happy that Arsenal are into the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League.
I'm happy.
We will get into that. We will get into that pretty soon. But let's first of all begin with the Inter Milan Bayern Munich game.
I think that was a game that I thought that Bayern lost the game in the first leg.
In the first leg.
That last minute goal scored in Allianz Arena, that's still the deal because I thought that it would be difficult for Bayern to overturn that scoreline. Indeed, they fought hard yesterday, played very well, squandered a lot of chances. For me, at one stage, I thought that they could push it to extra time, and they tried as hard as they could to change the narrative, but Inter has been very resolute. I mean, Inter's performance in this year's Champions League has been phenomenal. In the group stages, I think they've not even lost a match. When the new format, I think Arsenal went and they beat Arsenal 1-0. That was a game that I thought that the results was not fair to Arsenal. But of course, I mean, you can't take anything away from Inter Milan because even in the in the Serie A, they are on top of the log and they are playing very well.
They are actually fighting for the treble this season.
Yes.
So they are in the Coppa Italia.
Coppa Italia.
And then they are fighting for the league and the UEFA Champions League as well.
Yes. So, I mean, Inzaghi's team is doing wonders. And I believe that people are now taking them serious. They've been very, very disciplined. I was even surprised that yesterday they considered 2 goals because defensively they've been very solid. But Bayern Munich went with all gun blazing. I said Gnabry, Olise, who have had a good season with Bayern Munich because he has that talent. We know when he was with Crystal Palace, but he's been transformed to a different player altogether. And if you look at the likes of Kingsley Coman and
Joshua Kimmich.
I think they did well. Harry Kane yesterday scored a goal, wonderful one. In the first leg, he missed a golden opportunity. And I think, like I said, if they have taken their chances in the first leg, maybe the tie would have been different. But, I mean, the best team has progressed to the next stage of the competition. So it's hard for Vincent Kompany. More so maybe he doesn't have experience at this stage. And this is his first Champions League as a coach. So maybe he will grow into that. You need to go at it again several times before maybe you can get to the stage that you want to get to. So for me, Inter deserved to win. And they fought hard and they did everything they could. And I'm not surprised. But I'm relation to see the semi-final game they'll play against Barcelona.
We will get into that, but I mean, let's talk about Harry Kane. He left Tottenham Hotspur for Bayern Munich, and 2 seasons running, he's failed to take Bayern Munich to the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. Was it a bad bet for him?
I wouldn't say that. If you look at the Bayern team has not been the same Bayern team. If you look at the team Thomas Tuchel, left with. Company. I mean, it hasn't changed that much. Company came in, brought a few players in, but it hasn't changed that much. And you realize that, I mean, when in terms of aging, it also affecting them.
Because they still count on Thomas Muller.
Of course.
To deliver
If at this time, I mean, you still rely on Thomas Muller to do things for you, then it sums up the season and your squad in depth. I mean, Bayern we used to know is not the usual Bayern we are seeing today. So for me, I wasn't that surprised with it, and I think that with Vincent Kompany, maybe they can go for the Bundesliga trophy because they are now on top. But Leverkusen is also on their heels. trying to see if they can also chase it and retain the title they won last season, which is another Herculean task. But I think that one can do. So I think Harry Kane, if you check the numbers last season, he didn't do badly.
Yeah.
I mean, even checking the numbers this season, statistically, he's not doing badly. I mean, him as a striker, he has proven himself that he's proven to be a good goal scorer. And not only when he was with Tottenham Hotspur, because people were saying that he has been Tottenham champion, but moving to different league and replicating the kind of form he exhibited in the Premier League. I think that it hasn't been bad for him. The only thing is that, and if you look at the Bayern team last season in Champions League, remember last season they eliminated Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal, yeah.
In the Champions League. It was one of a bad team. But Arsenal lost in the second leg because of inexperience. But I think that now they are growing in confidence, in experience, and that is also shaping up for them and it's helping Arsenal. But for me, for Bayern, I think they need to rebuild. That's what I would say.
I mean, talking about rebuilding, what does the future hold for Vincent Kompany, the manager of the side?
They need to be patient with him.
Okay.
I think that getting that confidence to give this team to him, the kind of philosophy. This is the first season.
Yeah.
With Thomas Tuchel, who has a lot of experience. Last season couldn't win the league for them.
That is true.
So if you have an up-and-coming coach, Kompany is cutting the mood of Mikel Arteta, somebody who hasn't managed. I mean, for Kompany, he did a good job with the team he qualified with. I think he did a good job there. Then, getting this opportunity, a lot of people were seeing Kompany, but he hasn't done badly. To be honest with you, I mean, I think he's done well as far as this season is concerned. So I think they have to give him time. I believe he'll come good. Okay. He'll get experience.
Let's look at the squad for Inter Milan. For Lautaro Martinez, he keeps on doing the work for Inter Milan, but his name does not really pops up when it comes to the conversation of who wins the Ballon d'Or. But season in, season out, you've seen Lautaro Martinez scoring for Inter Milan. As it stands now, he scored 8 goals in the UEFA Champions League, and yesterday did the magic as well for them.
He's been an unsung hero. You remember in the first leg, he even scored the first goal for Inter Milan and repeated, his goal-scoring form yesterday when they needed him most. I mean, he's been one fan. And for me, if you look at even Argentina, he's one player has been underrated. Now, if you're looking at the Argentine team and you're looking at those who contribute immensely, I mean, you not mention him. But of course, he's done well as a player.
Does he deserve to win at least a Ballon d'Or?
For me, when you talk in terms of Ballon d'Or and
considering the things that he's done, I mean, over the years,
the thing is that has he been that outstanding?
He's won the World Cup,
because if you're talking
about American twice.
If you're talking about Ballon d'Or, then you're looking at the year.
Won the Italian Scudetto. I mean, he's done marvelous
things
for Inter.
Ballon d'Or is determined.
Well.
The best player is determined on the year under review. So if a year you win Scudetto, you win whatever you've mentioned, then still.
But even in the year that he won, I mean, his name didn't even come into the top 4.
That's what I'm saying. That it means there are exceptional players ahead of him.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
I mean, if you look at Europe right now, we are departing from the era of Messi and Ronaldo. Okay. But I think that he's a very good player. He's been doing well for Inter Milan, no doubt about that. But as to whether he's ready to win Ballon d'Or, that kind of thing, because let's take Vinicius Junior for instance for last season. I think he was tremendous in last season. And, even though he didn't win the Ballon d'Or was won by Rodri, who had a very quality and a good
season for Manchester City.
I think that Martinez, indeed, if he's able to carry Inter to the final and maybe do something different, maybe he'll get that recognition that a lot of people think he should get.
Okay, let me draw Jonathan according to the conversation. Jonathan, good morning and thanks for your time. I'm sure you didn't have a good night because of Real Madrid, but we will come back to the Real Madrid discussion.
No.
Let's center on you had a good night.
When Real Madrid lost the first leg,
can you draw the microphone in front of you?
When Madrid lost the first leg, I knew the guy was cast.
Oh, okay.
So when people were talking about comeback, and all stuff, I look at the team Madrid now.
Okay, we will get into that. Let's talk about Inter Bayern Munich.
Yeah, Bayern show glimpses of overturning the scoreline. Don't let's forget, Bayern is fighting injury worries with key materials in the team. If you have a Musiala who's not playing, your best center back who commands the defense is out there injured.
Alonso Davies. Afonso Davies.
Davies, yes, is out there injured. And then you have the Mercurial Coleman also out there injured. The team spine is almost not there. And you have a weak bench. And you can't play in this tournament, get to this level, and don't command a strong bench. Your team is determined. Your team can be overruled at any time. And so I knew from the first leg result that going to San Siro it will be a very difficult journey for the Bavarians.
You feel a team with players like Serge Gnabry on the bench of Bayern Munich, players like
the last 3 years, Serge Gnabry has not been the Serge Gnabry we know. The last 2 seasons.
So I think because of injuries and all that.
Injury worries and stuff like that. And the upsurge of Boy Musiala and the inclusion of Olise was seen as plight of minutes. So minutes also determines a player's form. Are you getting me?
Okay.
And so when you don't get enough minutes, your form is affects your form as well. I mean, it's natural. So you can see the Gnabry we know is not the Gnabry we are seeing today. He has become average. Even with the team, it's become surplus to requirement. And even when they need a rules, now that the team has a lot of injury worries, and you have to step up to the plate, we don't see it like that because that has been the status quo the last 2 seasons. Now, a team that commands Barella, that's Bastoni, that's Asebi, that old man, I mean, veteran in the game, with a big head. He's one of the most underrated defenders. People don't mention his name. Today, Liverpool is out of the tournament. People keep talking about Van Dijk and the rest in Europe. But look at Asebi's age and look at how he has navigated. He has helped navigate, steer Inter to where it is now. On top of the Scudetto, semi-finals in last 3 seasons, the last 4. 8th time in Champions League. All because of this gentleman at the heart of defense. Pavard with his massive experience, as young as he's already won the World Cup, playing World Cup finals, playing European Cup finals, playing Nations League finals, have played for some of the big teams in Europe. And so their back three is about the most solid and well orchestrated, defense in Europe, if you ask me. Look at goals that they've conceded. And Simeone Inzaghi is doing so wonderful. I think he's been underrated. People are mentioning, when did even Slot came? People are mentioning Simeone Inzaghi. You ask people about the coach of Inter, they don't even know. But the man is doing so wonderful. Just 2 seasons.
Perhaps he's not getting the hype that he deserves.
Yeah, he played in the finals against Manchester City. Last season, look at where he got to semi-finals. This season, he's in the semi-finals again. And so, the way he has orchestrated the team, and fantastic leadership by Lautaro Martinez up front. Anytime he's injured, look how the team becomes. And the 3-5-2 formation he's playing, he has become so mastery of it that defense-wise, they are solid. Recovering the ball, they are up there. And so, I knew Bayern had a tall mountain to climb yesterday, and lo and behold, it showed. When they were there, even equalized at that tail end of the game, with the minutes left, I know if they have 30 minutes more to play, I know Inter will still navigate their way and qualify because defensively, they are very, very, very solid.
They'll be coming up against Barcelona.
Yes, team of the moment to ask me, I'll tell you is Barcelona. But what happened at the Signal Iduna, they were tested with pressure. So I'm asking myself, if Bade doesn't return, it shows those glimpses of poor defensive work at the left-hand side of their defense. Now, is it going to be Kubasi Martinez, Arroyo Martinez, or Arroyo Kubasi against the surrounding Turam and Lautaro Martinez? That telepathy gradually is there. You might think they've played for a long while, but it's there for some time now that they've been playing together. When the Turan come to Inter, but the telepathy between the two of them is marvelous. The understanding is huge, all because of the way Lautaro plays. This time, he has segregated and apportioned the brawling work up front to Turam, the younger Turam, who is strong, and you see most of his head. Look at the goal he scored against Bayern in the first leg. In the first leg. And you could clearly see they had that on two occasions. They created another one from the wing. That Mkhitaryan started that move. And then Demian took the ball and then gave that pass. Look at the 1-2 between Lautaro and Thuram. So you can clearly see, and I'm wondering, Barcelona need to have a good defensive shield. Pedri, De Jong, not bad, but I'm looking at the brawling. The quickness in transition when Inter does. Who shields the back four of Barcelona? I know going for it, somebody also asked, but going for it, Barcelona also is a full threat. Rafinha, Mercurial Yamal, and Evergreen Lewandowski. How will the back line of this aging Sebi and the rest cope? But don't forget, there are 5 in the middle, always track down to hold the fort and amass, bring more men behind the ball in defense. So early days here, though, we pray by that time both teams will have all their players fit, and then we'll see
how things go.
Is a good tactician.
But you're already tipping Inter to be in the finals.
A lot are tipping Inter. I'm telling you, my team of the moment is Barcelona. They've played, so they look like picking all the 3 cups. They've gone closer to the trophies
this season.
I see them wrapping up the La Liga.
Great.
And with the Copa del Rey finals against Real Madrid, it's a done deal already.
For Barca?
For Barca. It will be in their cupboard. But the Champions League remaining is a problem. And the biggest hurdle is whom they are facing now. The 2 remaining clubs, be it Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain, any of them that qualifies, Barcelona will take care of that team.
Great.
The greatest hurdle now is Inter.
Great. Join the conversation with your WhatsApp comments. 055-6071-943. 055-6071-943. Also be me live on Facebook, Metro TV Ghana. Metro TV Ghana on Facebook. Do like, comment, and share with us your thoughts over there. But the text line is 055-6071-943. 055-6071-943. Kobe, let's talk about what happened at the Santiago Bernabeu. For Arsenal, it was a magical night, beating Real Madrid back to back. I don't remember the last time an English opposition defeated Real Madrid back to back.
Yeah, I saw it coming. I remember in the first leg, I was here with Jonah, and I told him that Arsenal is going to beat Madrid. I think they didn't believe me because they think that when it comes to Champions League, it's about Madrid. Of course, they are the European champions, Okay, they've won the competition 15 times. I mean, they are synonymous with that competition. So, indeed, if you are talking about Champions League in Europe, then it's Real Madrid. But you see, in this world, I mean, every team and their boogie club.
Is that in true?
It's true.
Okay.
It's true. And you see, I see Arsenal to be a boogie club of Real Madrid.
Madrid.
Because in terms of Europe, they've never beaten Arsenal. And that pattern is still is continuing.
That is true.
But you see, people underrated Arsenal. Maybe due to the fact that the momentum in the Premier League has, reduced because of how Liverpool has amassed points and Arsenal is not challenging like the way people expected them to do. But people have also forgotten that Arsenal has been solid in Europe this season. Their performance in Euros has been outstanding.
Yeah.
They've lost only one match, and that was to Inter Milan.
Inter Milan, yeah.
You remember that penalty they took against Arsenal. So they've been very phenomenal. So indeed, when the draw came, a lot of people were saying that this one is a walk in the park for Real Madrid because they were looking at the Real Madrid squad and they think that Arsenal cannot stand Madrid. But remember, I read an interview before Luis Enrique played Aston Villa. He said that in the Champions League, the best team he has seen in the Champions League is the Arsenal team.
It's the Arsenal team.
So he's even surprised that people are saying that Real Madrid will have it easy. He thinks that Arsenal will go past Real Madrid. And it's not him alone. Ousmane Dembele said the same thing. And, before they came to Anfield, after playing Liverpool in the first leg, he still said that Arsenal's team is better than Liverpool. You understand? Before they even came to Anfield and eliminated Liverpool from the competition. You understand? So what it tells you is that these are the people who know the game. All right? They know the game. And they understand. Of course, it's not like he's watched Arsenal from afar. He has watched them play. He's saying that they are a well-coached team. Very disciplined side. And see, Arsenal have never conceded 2 goals in Europe this season. They've not considered 2 goals.
Wow.
So it tells you about their defensive setup. You understand how disciplined they are when they're defending. Hitherto Arsenal was not a team that used to defending.
Yeah. But
Arteta has changed the mentality of this team to the extent that they defend very, very well. So it's difficult to beat them. Even in entire, matches that they played in the Premier League. It's only, I think, last season that they conceded 3 goals.
Yeah.
There's no team that was able to beat Arsenal 3. I mean, the highest you can go is 2 goals. It tells you the kind of defensive solidity that they have. So playing against Real Madrid, where yesterday I sat here the other time, and I told Michael that, see, Madrid is very vulnerable when they push men up front. You can go and check their games. When they commit men up front, they become chaotic. We are very vulnerable. Because, see, they have quality. They have players who can decide games. Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Jude. Quality players. But if you want to stop them, and looking at teams that have played against Madrid, you can easily stop them. When you are playing against Madrid, the only thing to do is make sure you have a good midfield. That's all.
Okay.
Because normally if you have a good midfield, you cut the supply from them. They read the lines. If the supply doesn't go, Vinicius will not run. If the supply doesn't go, Mbappe will not run. If the supply doesn't go, Rodrigo will not do anything. And that is what we saw yesterday. See, in the yesterday's game, those who did a lot of work for Arsenal were the wingers. Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. Anytime Arsenal is under pressure, they are there to support the laterals. So Saka will drop, all right, and come and support Timber. Then you will see Martinelli also coming to help Miles Lewis Kelly. And they were... So when Arsenal go low block, it's difficult. So if you check the game yesterday, Real Madrid had only 1 shot on target. Only 1 shot on target. All right? Arsenal does them go. The goal they scored is Arsenal that gave them. And I knew that moment to come. So look at how Arsenal opened Madrid.
Yeah.
Look at the first goal that he scored. It was Madrid on attack. Arsenal got the ball, and later, look at the pass to Saka and how he finished it.
Catching them on a counter.
You understand? And look at the last one. How, after a corner kick, Mourinho get the ball, Mikel Merino got the ball. He didn't pass to anybody. Move and check the runs of Martinelli. And you realize, because at that point in time, Madrid were in to go and score. So at one stage, you will see Rudiger and everybody in Arsenal's area.
Yeah. And
when you commit men up front and you are playing a very disciplined side like Arsenal, that is why Arsenal was in yesterday's game. Arsenal controlled the game from start to finish. Madrid did not hurt them. They were only putting pressure, trying to create a moment, which of course Arsenal defended very well. So I didn't see Madrid, the comeback you were talking about and the kind of emotional things that they did. For me, if this Arsenal team can go to Anfield and play, why can't they play at Santiago Bernabeu? Because Anfield is too noisy. And you can capitulate when you are playing at Anfield. It has happened to a lot of teams. You remember Barcelona? With even Almighty Messi in the team. After they took 3-0 lead at Camp Nou, went to Anfield and Liverpool beat them 4-0. That is the kind of environment we are talking about. Not what they saw at Santiago Bernabeu.
Okay.
After the game, when they interviewed Luis Kelly, he said, when you are outside and when you see the stadium on TV, it's serious. But when he entered and he looked at the stadium and then he has to enjoy himself.
Okay.
So he was just enjoying himself.
But per the performance that we saw Arsenal putting across over the two legs, does it come to say that they have cemented their maturity under Mikel Arteta?
Of course. Mikel Arteta is doing something. Even him after the match, he said that, when he was at the dugout, because that is his first experience at Bernabeu, even though he is a Catalan.
Yeah.
That is his first experience as a coach in the dugout with that huge crowd. Look at the stadium, magnificent stadium, edifice. You understand? So he said the noise can create situations.
Okay.
But I think that Arteta has put certain mentality in Arsenal boys.
Okay.
I mean, that mental toughness is there. They don't look at the crowd or they are unshakable, and now they have that boldness and that confidence in playing in teams that do well. Look at how they even play, Man City nowadays. They have that belief and confidence they will beat City. They have belief and confidence they will beat United. They will beat Chelsea. They will beat Liverpool. In this season's league, the match Liverpool played against Arsenal at Emirates, Arsenal was having a lot of injuries. That match, was a match that Arsenal should have won easily. That Salah equalizer, that was the time that Luis Kelly was being introduced. So he didn't have that strength. So for me, this team has matured.
Arsenal winning the Champions League.
When I talk about it, people laugh at me. But if you see
it is said that anything that beats Madrid at this stage goes on to win the UEFA Champions League.
That's what I'm saying. If you look at the Arsenal team, now if you want to eliminate Arsenal from the Champions League, then you need to score them 2 goals or more to eliminate them. You understand? If you are not able to get 2 goals or more, it will be difficult. And Arsenal is difficult to score Arsenal 2. You understand? And normally they have a good advantage when they're playing at the Emirates Stadium. The first leg against PSG will be at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal has already played the PSG at the Emirates Stadium this season. And Arsenal beat them 2-0. Even though, if you look at that team, that PSG, used to play Arsenal, and what they have today, they have a transformed team. I mean, no two ways about that.
Let me go to Jonah. Tell us how Kylian Mbappe left Paris Saint-Germain, ditched them out for Real Madrid in anticipation of winning the UEFA Champions League. He gets in there, and they're out now. But his former club, Paris Saint-Germain, are into the semi-finals, gunning to win the UEFA Champions League title.
He's played there in 2001. They went to the finals against Bayern Munich. It was played in, I think.
But they didn't win.
Why do? It's his first season. When people are rushing the gentleman because of where he's got into, he's won the World Cup, he's done this and that, and so they think he should be an instant hit at the club. But you have to look at the players around him. That also matters. The players around him, the Camavingas, and unfortunately for him, his first season, Madrid has battled with the engine of the team and the philosophy of the club. Madrid wants to play, when they want to, they play 1-2, they play it wide, and then you see Carvajal and the rest, Ruby. Tell me this season, that Mbappe landed. What contribution has you seen from the right-hand side of the Madrid team into attack? Tell me this season, on how many times consecutively has Madrid produced one set of midfield? And that engine is what will produce the goals.
Okay.
That engine is what will spark some brilliance up front. Today it is Camavinga. Tomorrow the central defensive pace. The Germany have to go to defense.
Yeah.
The good old Modric has to play alongside Ceballos, who have been surplus to requirement for a long while. Tomorrow this and that. And so, for me, he's even done so well and extremely well. Judging from the conditions that Madrid has found itself always coming from the back. At the point in time, you have Asensio, Tchouaméni, when Rudiger was injured, as central defensive pair. I mean, in crucial games. That means you're going to defend all night. But I mean, this form has also it's not improving. It has become I don't know, like a robot. And so, unfortunately for Kylian Mbappe, he did not come to inherit what 2-3 seasons ago, when the Toni Kroos, the Casemiros were using their big head, and so the Madrid from Ledesma, then 11, 12. When Madrid has 12 is 13th is when they said Mbappe was coming.
Yeah.
14th, 15th, 16th. If he had come around that time,
Yeah.
you have cemented his name. Unfortunately, he came to meet a depleted team, a team that has challenges. The name of the Whites is enacted, it's there, written in letters of gold. But the human, I mean, the players on the field are not seeing that, football keep evolving. So I don't see, that's his first season. Let's see what Florentino Lopez will do next season. The team Madrid need augment.
Okay.
Need about 3 quality players, serious right back. I know it looks like Strauss, I know this coming. And David's inclusion have been turned down because he has signed a long-term contract to 2028 with Bayern. So they'll still need to fight at the left hand. But where from Garcia, I don't see him as a top-notch player at that level. But somebody will ask you that Luis Kelly is playing for Arsenal. So when given the opportunity for him to play, he should also live up to the plate. And then one additional midfielder. With the attacking players that they have, I don't think anything is. But let's pray that Militao returns fully fit. Players like Alaba and the rest, bodies should go and pave way on their salary structure for this to come in.
Do you think Ancelotti caused this failure upon himself? Banking his hopes on these old players that you mentioned, Luka Modric, Tony Rudiger.
When he did not play yesterday, he came on later in the game. He himself listened.
He played in the first leg where Madrid considered 3.
The first leg, everybody thought when Vasquez was declared fit, people were asking that if it was, why take him to Emirates? Because he should have then started. If he can't, then bring in another player. And then your midfield got annihilated. got broken because Valverde wasn't playing. Because we all know what Camavinga would do. He'll just be running helter-skelter. He's here to get there. Honestly, if you ask me, I like him for his hard work. but he's not the top-notch star Madrid need. When he met Partey, Rice, and Odegaard, you saw him struggle. But somebody will also tell you that money didn't come to the party because he was overawed. And Bellingham have to shield Alaba. So it was left with Camavinga to work alone. Yes, it is true. So like you asked me, Ancelotti aired. He repeated the same thing by justifying the inclusion of Alaba yesterday. Ask me what contribution as a left back, apart from his defensive postures, one or two, did Alaba do in terms of getting the ball to the strikers that we saw Skelly do, we saw Robertson do at, how do you call it, Liverpool. We see other left back done. Even Fela Mendy, who we all see him too average to play for Madrid, that's better. But they could decide to play him again. But I feel like at the Bernabeu, you should have played the Garcia boy. Because at home, the boy will feel more comfortable and confident to play. He started Alaba again. And so there was no balance from the middle to the attack because the likes of Tchouaméni and Valverde, concentration were on him. Was at the left-hand side of defense to shield Alaba. Because they think that is where Arsenal will operate from. Look, Arsenal operated from that portion a lot of the time because Saka is that when you see Partey get the ball, his next player, if he doesn't get somebody close to him, he always wants to find Saka to punish Alaba. So when you ask me, yeah, Ancelotti shot himself in the foot, but he helped the team shot himself in the foot. But I can't take anything from Arsenal. Arsenal did very, very well.
We cannot conclude the conversation on the UEFA Champions League without not talking about Thomas Partey, the level of performance that he gave to Arsenal over the two legs.
Yeah, honestly, Partey demonstrated mastery. I mean, for a long while, I've not seen him play a two-legged top game like this before.
Yeah.
I remember his days at Atletico de Madrid against Real Madrid. One he started, one he came on as a sub in a double leg issue like this. But this time, Partey is too matured. And the advantage also got to him that the trident of them in the middle had so much understanding and telepathy. But, and like Kobe said, when they lose possession, Martinelli, people didn't watch him. But because of his hair, he worked. The gentleman was playing like a midfielder. But he's an attacking midfielder, assisting, maybe from attack from the left-hand side. But anytime Arsenal don't have possession, you see him working around his constituency in his jurisdiction. And so it helped the trade. So 1-2, all the second balls Partey was picking and was distributing.
Yeah.
From the left-hand side, most of them were coming from tackles where Martinelli, as far as attack, has charged a Madrid player. One, he charged Valverde, Valverde lost possession. Easy, so you can see the team has still matured.
Great.
They don't take the glory, give the glory to the coach, give some of the praise to the players as well. But some will also get the same advantage, but cannot take advantage of it and get results.
Thomas Partey, five-star performance.
If you watched yesterday's game, you remember when he got the yellow card? You saw how the Crown Rice shouted at him.
Yeah.
Because they will miss him in the first leg of their game
I
against.
saw that.
Yes. They will miss him because he will miss the next game. It was needless. That is why Declan Rice was annoyed because you see, it is Partey who released Declan. All right. If Partey is playing the defensive role, he covers very well. It allowed Declan to go
forward.
You understand? And Declan can run and do all the things. It's Partey who controls the tempo of the game. When a team is quick, want to go in transition, everything, anytime he gets the ball, he makes sure he controls the tempo. So if you watch Partey, normally when he gets a pass, he is not quick.
And yesterday, 100% percent pass accuracy.
Of course. Normally when he gets a pass, he's not quick to release the ball.
Yeah.
When the ball is with him, he scan around
Yeah.
before he will give. So if he scan and he realizes there's no spaces, you will see him turning and sending the ball somewhere. He controls, and yesterday he took the steam out of the game, and it didn't help Madrid. So you realize that they were trying to bully Arsenal in the midfield, but still was not working. Partey is a standout player, and you know, mostly after their matches, when people they are praising the likes of Rice, Saka, and Skelly, his own colleagues will praise him.
Yeah.
Because they know the kind of job he does in the team.
That's why Declan Rice was yelling.
That's why Declan was annoying. He yelled on him yesterday. He yelled at him yesterday because they needed him in the first leg. You know, what it means is that now they have to make do with Jorginho because Jorginho will cover him in the first leg against PSG. The only advantage they will have is that match will be played at Emirates.
Okay.
That will make sure it will be comfortable for them. Then he can play the second leg when they go to Paris. You understand? So I think that, you know, it's interesting. Partey has been phenomenal this season. And a lot of people are asking questions
the Partey story, is it, a story of being patient? Because at a point in time, everyone thought that Partey had lost his position to Jorginho.
You know, Jorginho was brought in as a cover because Partey was getting injured so much.
Okay.
Partey's stay at Arsenal, a lot of, the 2 seasons saw that Arsenal was not able to win the league. One of the factors was Partey.
Yeah.
Because normally when he gets injury, anytime he's injured, it affects the Arsenal midfield.
The setup.
You understand? And, you know, they go ahead and lose games and all those things. So that is why, remember, Arsenal was bent on getting Moyes Saido from Brighton then, because of injury to Partey. Because they saw that engine, the midfield, to be the only place, you know, that was left, and maybe getting a centre forward. You understand? But Partey has, after he went through that surgery, he's been playing the whole season with that injury.
Yeah.
Hitherto, when Partey is even coming for national assignment, Arsenal will detail a physio to come with Partey. But the last time he came, he didn't.
It tells you how important he is.
Of course. The last time he came alone.
Yeah.
No physio. Even at the World Cup, Arsenal physio was there.
Yeah.
But now they allow him to go because after that surgery, Partey has become Partey. It's rather unfortunate with his age. But even the way he's playing like somebody who is within the age of 20s and thereabout. He's composed, he has a lot of experience, you know, he determines games, and he's an unsung hero in the Arsenal team. So for me, Partey, I mean, a lot of people they've started a conversation whether Arsenal renew his contract. And the biggest mistake Arsenal will do is to allow Partey to go.
Oh, okay.
Yes. That would be the biggest mistake because
he still has the energy to run.
Partey. Now, you know teams that are chasing him.
I understand Barcelona.
Barcelona is keen. So if he can play Barcelona, he can play for Arsenal.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
He's somebody who is very important to this squad. If Arsenal should maintain this squad, I think for me, if you ask me, the only thing they need, and we know that Zubimendi will come in. But for me, Zubimendi will not be the antidote to the English game. Because if you have somebody who has played in the English game and had that kind of experience, you shouldn't allow that person to leave.
Great.
Arsenal should give him contract, at least a year or 2, to stay with the team before he leaves.